The three cartoon giants now have their own streaming services. Let's make sense of that.
Take that.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Nerds Make Sense. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Manuel.
I'm here.
Oh God. So today we're going to be talking about the three cartoon giants from our childhoods, Disney, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network, and how they're each on their own streaming services now. Now, while Disney, of course, has Disney Plus, Nickelodeon is on Netflix, and then Cartoon Network is with HBO.
Yeah, and then what I want to say right now, I'm pretty sure Manuel was in the same video when I said it, when we talked about the Invader Zim stuff. I knew this was going to happen, like I really called it.
Yeah.
Because I said, I was like, Nickelodeon doesn't want to put out this old stuff with these new viewers because I was like, okay, it's not going to connect. But I was like, but if they're over here, Netflix is going to do all that for them, and, they're like, all right, go ahead. But that's what happened. Netflix is going to have the rights to Nickelodeon stuff, new properties and old.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
So, okay. We all know Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Networks. They were the staples of our childhood.
I mean, y'all's. I had.
Yeah, well, you didn't have cable.
I had PBS.
He had the less fun option.
Yeah, I had to learn.
Well, we sat there and watched Super Saiyans blow up planets and scantily clad did high school girls defend the world.
What?
Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. Come on, dude. So, anyways, like I said, Disney has its own. It's got Disney Plus, and it's offering a crazy amount just to get started. Now, not too much in the show category, although it does have one of my favorite shows in the entire world, being Boy Meets World.
That's my favorite show.
Grew up with that show. I mean, that was...
It has a lot of good stuff on there. A lot of stuff I forgot about, and a lot of stuff that I'm glad they added to it. There's some stuff missing, but I'm pretty sure they'll be there sooner or later.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just getting started out. They've been up and running for, 3 weeks?
And for starting streaming service, it has a lot there.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff on there that I didn't realize would have been there. Because I forgot. I don't know how it escaped me how long Disney's been around. Cause I'm like, oh yeah, all that stuff they made in the 50s and then the stuff in the past 10 years is all like fresh in my memory.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh fuck, they were around for that entire time.
Well, and here's the
they
thing,
never
too.
stopped making stuff.
I can actually remember a time when there was no Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it came around, the mid-90s, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you started getting, of course, they have all their original... Disney Plus has not all of their original movies, but a big amount of them.
Most of them. They will have all of them.
Like, excuse me.
Ow.
Yeah, sorry about that. I actually don't know why I'm coughing so much because I'm not sick. But anyways, I just finished the other day watching the movie Brink about the kids rollerblading.
Yes. So a funny story. So just to establish how expansive this library is, me and my friends started watching a show that came out. I had a very vague memory of the show because I didn't have cable. But like whenever I went over to like my cousin's house, who were way better off than I was, and they had cable, I would plop down in front of the TV like, no, we'll hang out later. I'm watching actual real television now, not the news and Price is Right and freaking Clifford.
Hey, I love The Price is Right.
And there's a show called So Weird, and it's from this era of right after the X-Files came out, and it was like a children's X-Files. And
I remember it.
Yes, it's so good. And like I spent the whole time watching that show. I'm like, everybody in this looks so fucking familiar, and
Yeah.
I cannot place any of them. So we had to look it up. The two boys in there are from Brink, I think. I think they're like the two main characters of Brink.
Probably.
Like the two friends or whatever. I was like, oh my god. Like, it was this whole wave of nostalgia. Like, I barely remember these people.
Yeah.
But they're so, like, stuck.
And I also watched a later movie that came out, I think, in 2000, called Alley Cat Strike.
Alley Cat Strike. What the fuck?
That's the one about the basically all of these have like a theme, and this one was about bowling.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's two schools, rival schools, bowling against each other for a big trophy. And one character that actually surprised me in there was Kaylee Cuoco
Oh,
from
yeah.
the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So I never knew she was a Disney Channel girl.
Most people are. They just don't know it yet.
Even the guys are Disney Channel girls.
Exactly. You just don't know.
They're just Disney Channel bitches.
Yep.
We're past the 5-minute mark. I can say that.
Disney's got everybody in their
Daniel cussed
pockets.
2 minutes ago. It's all right.
I did.
Take it down.
But now, okay, so Nickelodeon, of course, is on Netflix, or most of their stuff is coming out on Netflix
Yeah,
now.
so the Avatar Last Airbender series is on there now. Victorious is on there now. Sam and Cat, I think, are on there now. iCarly
anyone
is
actually
it?
wants to
Why
watch that one.
I did.
Sam and
iCarly's
Cat,
been on there for a
nobody
while, though,
likes
right?
Sam
Dude,
and Cat.
I don't remember iCarly ever being on there. I don't even think
okay.
iCarly's on there right now because I remember someone arguing about that.
And the only reason they're doing this is because they're losing all their Disney shit.
Yeah. So and it makes sense because they need to put Danny Phantom on there right now.
Oh, yes.
But when we're talking about Nickelodeon,
And all the
let me get
movies.
into like the nitty gritty of this. All right, so not only can they make their own, get rights to doing their own thing, but they also have the Power Rangers too, which isn't a Nickelodeon.
Wait, who
thing.
does?
No, Netflix could probably have it because like Power Rangers isn't.
Well, they've got every season of Power Rangers,
but
that
they're
is
not
completed airing.
Oh, 'cause
They're not a
Nickelodeon has
Nickelodeon.
it.
Yeah, no, they don't have it. It just airs on there. Like they don't have it.
Because I think it's still Saban.
Yeah, so like people are like, "Oh, we're gonna get that," and the Ninja Turtles as well. Like you could have all the old Ninja Turtles on there as well. I'm only speaking this because someone spelled that to me, and I didn't think about that. There was only like one season of Ninja Turtles that's new that I actually liked, and that was like the 2012 one where they look CGI-ish. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't even know.
I think I remember that one.
But like Power Rangers 2, and then like all the other stuff that sounds like out of the way, like to not happen. Like I always wanted Danny Phantom, and I know Butch Hartman, the creator of Danny Phantom, wants that too. But he's not with Nickelodeon anymore,
Yeah.
so he can't do that. But this is probably a way that could happen for like a one-time thing. In that it's not like a series. Like I hope like I don't know if they did do a series of it, like I'll be cool with it. But if not, like a one-time movie of like them in the future and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Danny
Well,
Phantom?
probably like because he always does that stuff. Butch Hartman on his YouTube channel was always like, "Oh, Danny Phantom, 25 years later, oh, whatever." But
Because
yeah,
that was one of the movies. We saw that one.
but yeah,
He was evil.
yeah. Who did I point that out? Oh,
Was he evil?
yeah, he was.
Yeah,
evil.
he came back in time to try and kill himself or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, he came back in time to make sure that he turned evil by killing all of his friends and family. He's like, that's what made me evil. It was when all my friends and family died. So I'm gonna go kill them for you,
Yeah.
so you can be evil and reach your true
It was
potential.
fresh. Yeah, he was fresh. But yeah, so you have that. You have Victorious. I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't see Ariana Grande coming back to do a Victorious thing. But like
No,
I'm
she's
saying,
too big
I'm
now.
not asking for series because like if you do series, it's gonna be harder to keep them there unless they're not doing anything. Like I'm not trying to talk mess, but Fuller House, they're all done doing their thing, right? They're not doing anything new, right?
Right.
So when they did Fuller House, all of them were there, except for the Olsen twins because I don't fucking know what they're doing. But they're not doing anything.
They've got their fashion
But
empire.
you have the cast of Victorious, who the Liz Gillies, or what I think that's her name. She's doing that show on the CW. She's doing a show on the CW. She's like the main character. Ariana Grande's freaking famous. Victoria Justice is probably the only one that's not doing anything.
I know, right?
Or
Daniela Monet.
Dude,
She just had a kid.
She's being hot, okay? That's what she's doing.
Well, she has a kid now, so that's what she's busy.
She has a kid now. She was also on that show, Baby's Daddies, that me and Josh used to watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
on-
No, I remember that.
Yeah, she took her clothes off from that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But and yeah, but it would be hard. But maybe for like a one-time movie is what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
happening.
maybe you could get everybody to come back.
For a movie and not a series. Because some of these things, like I'm not saying Victorious is like the best show ever. I'm not gonna say that, but it was entertaining for what it was at the time. But like thinking about them doing a movie, I mean another series off of that, like I don't see it happening whatsoever. So like these new properties, like the older properties, unless like you get lucky that it'll fit this time and the like what is now you'll be lucky if you can make a series of it. So I want to see. That's what I want to see. Like I'm very interested in what they're gonna pick because they're very specific in saying not only can they use new stuff, but the whole vault of Nickelodeon is what they can mess around with.
Right.
And I thought it was weird that once they said that, Victoria, Sam, and Cat and them came up. I'm just like, okay, so what? Like out of all the times you could have had it. I mean, it could be like what you said that we're seeing it now because of it happening, or it could just be like a weird coincidence that, we can pick it.
Well, I think I don't think it's necessarily coincidence, but I think Netflix for a long time was trying to accumulate all these things,
Right?
Because like they had the thing with Disney and in Marvel where like they had the exclusives to when those things became available on streaming services. Netflix got it first, like immediately as soon as it was available. Netflix had it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they were just trying to like get as many as they could because that's honestly probably the best business model. Like, and I knew it was gonna fail because everybody's greedy, but like to have all of everything into one pot, it's like incredibly easy to reach, and like everybody already knows that it's all here. That you're gonna have everybody's money at some point because like there's no way we don't have what you want on this service now.
Yeah.
And it would just be like the next thing where it wouldn't be everybody has a television in their home. Everybody has Netflix in their home now. That's just what you like when you want to watch things. Everybody has a Netflix.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like so. And I think it's just now that they're like strengthening that bond with the one company they do have, like just because like Nickelodeon wasn't going to do anything with anybody else, but now that Disney went and did its own thing, we're like, oh yeah, I forgot, we're a corporate giant, we can do whatever we want. We have our own service now.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing is while you're right, I'm pretty sure they were trying to acquire everything beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I think now it's more out of desperation that they're adding all of these because they're losing so much to Disney Plus.
Because like Netflix can come out with their own cartoon shows like they they have been for what they had, and they honestly, and so with that they're like, okay, we can make our own, but we need something for the time when we don't. Because they can't just pump them out because they got to pump out other stuff as well, Netflix originals. And then Nickelodeon's right there. They're like, okay, shake hands, we're doing it. So when they're producing now, you got a rotation you have when they're producing cartoon shows for Netflix originals, when they're doing all the Netflix original stuff, when they're all the new Nickelodeon stuff. Well, while you have all the old new Nickelodeon stuff, you have all this old Nickelodeon stuff, like the ones I just mentioned that just, happen to be there now. So it's a good rotation of like...
And then, of course, Netflix is doing the live-action Avatar.
Yeah, the Avatar
television series.
Yeah,
Without M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I also think that I don't think either the other cartoon people like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, I don't think they have enough to make their own like full service like Disney has, because Disney. Like, if it was just Disney stuff, like, without Pixar, without Marvel, what is the other thing? National Geographic. Without all that,
ESPN
there's
Plus.
enough Disney stuff for it to warrant its own service. There's enough in that package for you to watch.
Because you're talking about 40 years worth of just Disney movies and shows by themselves.
And Disney owns all of it. It's all Disney branded. So for Cartoon Network though, it wasn't all Cartoon Network branded. It was like Hanna-Barbera was like some of the older stuff in like the 80s and 90s. And then like you have some stuff that was like actually branded Cartoon Network. That wasn't until like the 2000s. So like all of their older stuff that they could have had, it doesn't actually belong to them. It belongs to like Turner, and like I guess maybe Turner Broadcasting could have their own service because they have like TBS, they have Cartoon Network, they have Adult Swim, but it doesn't have as much draw as just a flat Disney.
Right.
Yeah, because like if Nickelodeon would have did that, and just be like it would have been like Nickelodeon Plus or Nick whatever.
Nick Splat.
Nick Splat. Yeah, it would have been like what Doug, Cat Dog, Kablam. Like all that.
Didn't I see Doug on Disney Plus?
Yeah. So the thing about that is that they got the rights for it after it, and it's called Disney's Doug. It's not just called Doug. It's two different things.
Really?
Yes.
But it's the same exact content that we've seen before.
Yeah, different voice actors and everything. Yeah, a little bit of stuff is like switched up to make it different from the original Doug, right? And then they have Doug's first movie on there as well. So I'm pretty excited about that.
But, yeah, Doug was Disney, I thought.
No, it was on Nick.
No, that was one of the old originals.
I didn't look it up, but they lost the rights at one point in time.
Because I remember Doug being on Disney. That's when I watched.
Doug was on ABC Family. That's where
which is Disney's.
Yeah. Which was that's where it came on. That's because I used to watch that at my auntie's house after I got off to school. Was Disney's Doug, and they had a new theme song and everything, and it was more. It wasn't as sketched as it was because obviously because it's in a later timeline, it's in 2000s.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of those things got passed around a lot. Like Ren and Stimpy went from like Nick to Cartoon Network. Looney Tunes went from Cartoon Network to Nickelodeon. Like all of that stuff, and that stuff was like Warner Brothers stuff. Because that's who they like the Animaniacs are. The Warner Brothers and the Warner sister. Like, and so like that stuff got passed around a lot, and so like it would be hard for either of them to have their own service when like their things were given back and forth to networks like that.
Yeah, and then one thing that sucks. Well, I'm gonna kind of turn this right now is with the Cartoon Network. Well, because I don't know what's coming out yet. I only heard of stuff, right? So with the Cartoon Network HBO, I only heard that Adventure Time is coming back.
Yeah.
So I only heard that. I don't know what else is coming back, but it sucks because if they came out a little bit sooner, like probably maybe 3 or 4 years sooner with that, I feel like they would have had all the rights to have, because that's what, for me, as well as with all the other old stuff for Cartoon Network, like Cow and Chicken and all, and Powerpuff Girls and all that, DC was kind of the thing because they had the Young Justice, they had the Justice League, Justice League Unlimited, all the other little shows they had with the Batman and the Superman and all that. And that was so cool because it was all on Cartoon Network. They had their own little hour thing called DC Nation,
Yeah,
which was
it was like
all
a block.
the block of all the things.
It was like 2 hours.
And now that's on its own little streaming service as well, DC whatever. And honestly, I'm not gonna buy it just to watch Young Justice and all that. They showed some new Harley Quinn stuff that's animated, which has that's gonna have like PG-13 rating on it because I've seen it.
It's like blood and cursing
and all that and whatnot.
Adult oriented.
Yeah, and that seems cool, but I'm not gonna buy it just for that. But if it was the Cartoon Network stuff plus that, I probably would have because that's everything. Like just like how Disney Plus has, they got like you said, they have Disney, the Marvel, National Geographic, and Pixar. They have all that there. But I don't know what they're gonna have for Nickelodeon for them to do all that for the HBO. I mean, I know HBO also has Sesame Street and all that as well now, but I don't know what can come back. Like other than
because we already got like there's already some things that like people wanted to see come back have already come back via just regular Cartoon Network. Like Samurai Jack came back as an Adult Swim thing, which was good. We got the new Powerpuff Girls, which sucks. Yeah. Teen Titans. We got Teen Titans Go, which nobody likes. About it. Yeah. And like honestly, and like everything they have that's like good, that's like is still going. Like all the other animation stuff, like Steven Universe is still going, Gumball's still going. The older animation stuff that's not around anymore, I kind of don't want to see come back.
Most of the new Cartoon Network stuff is like just for like it's just like brain melting, like. Teen Titans Go is like that.
It's just noise. There are like those
like as much as my kids at work say they love Gumball, I was like, I understand because you act just like that, so I understand. It's just like craziness. Uncle Grandpa, I don't know how people like that. That I thought he was a pedophile. Uncle Grandpa, that was weird as hell.
It is a weird show.
And
I think it's gone now.
yeah, it's gone. But but and then they had the cooler things of it is like Steven Universe, the regular show. What else is there? There's something else. I'm missing it. Steven Universe, the regular show, like Gumball, Chowder, that stuff. Like everything then back from that is what Cartoon Network is. Like what the standard.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do. If they got the writers to come back to make like a. So, because like I know the writers of the regular show went to go do another show somewhere else, and it's more adult.
Yeah, well, because they wanted the regular show to be an adult show. It was supposed to go like MTV or something, and like Cartoon Network was the only one that like bought the pitch because the pilot for the regular show is about two guys having a drug trip while they're working at an AM/PM, right? And like so and like you like as soon as you get into it, like you know that like oh yeah, this is the regular show because it's like it's their voices. Like the voices they use is just their voices. Like they don't like play it up or anything. Like no, that's just how they talk, and it's freaking and so like they're good where they are making that whatever show they have, because it's more adult oriented. It's about like being an adult and stuff. That's fine because that's their target audience. That's where they need to be. Like for things that I think should come back. I don't know. Adventure Time went on long enough. I'm kind of not too excited to see like more Adventure Time. Like,
I didn't watch all of Adventure Time, but I knew of Adventure Time and I liked it. Yeah. I wasn't gonna watch it all the time like that. I watched all the regular show, which is like different, but like I watched here and there, and every time I watched Adventure Time, no matter if it was like something I already seen or something like that's 2 years later, I always enjoyed it. But like you said, when I seen the ending of it, even though I didn't watch all of it, it was like, all right, it's done. Like you said, I don't know. It's like too soon, maybe. Like
that was too soon. And that one kind of felt like it was ready to be done. Like I felt like they wanted it to be over. It didn't feel like they were canceled and it was rushed. It was like, no, we're good, we're done. Let's wrap it up. But we're good to go. I feel like there are things in Cartoon Network's repertoire that like I'm not sure exactly what, because I can't like think of them offhand. But there are definitely things that I would like to see come back that did get cut too short. Like, honestly, like, Teen Titans, if we get Teen Titans back, like, actual regular Teen Titans, like, they keep fucking teasing us about, like, please.
And then even the tease with Teen Titans that they had in Teen Titans Go movie was just a Teen Titans Go movie in itself, because that's what it was. Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, that's what they hinted at, and everyone was pissed. But yeah, but that would fall into the DC streaming service.
Yeah, it would anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
And they already have, like, their Titans show.
Yeah, oh yeah, and there's that too. So yeah,
that one's not that great either.
Yeah, so I'm just like stuff like I would like to see is Ed and Eddie, but that had an ending already, and I feel like
they ended it like twice because they had an ending in the series, and then they brought a movie. They're like, here's the end of Ed and
Eddie's big show or something like that.
And
what else is there? Like Cow and Chicken. I don't know how you would do that. Courage the Cowardly Dog is another famous one.
I don't think you could get away with Cow and Chicken anymore.
Yeah, that stuff.
Because that's kind of a Ren and Stimpy era-esque show.
I didn't even think you could get away with Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. No, Johnny Bravo was actually pretty ahead of its time.
Yeah, because that's not how people act nowadays. Like the Macho Man, just like
that's still pretty relevant.
He was a womanizer and a bit of a pedophile. I don't think you could get away with him.
No, because there are people now who still enjoy Johnny Bravo because he actually says some things that are like pretty on the nose for like when it was. Because like he says something that like a lot of people reference to because there's like. I forget what it was, but it's not as bad as you think it would be. Like premise wise, if you were to just say like, yeah, he's a guy who ogles women, and that's what the show's about. He's trying to get laid or something, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a show we should watch. But when you actually get into like the meat and bones of it, like it's not as bad as some other things from its era. Like Cow and Chicken, absolutely, Cow and Chicken was pretty bad. What's the other show?
Kids Next Door.
Oh, bro, that's the one. There we go. Because people have been like waiting for that to come back, and like I followed for a really long time. I followed like there was this thing they were doing. They were hinting at it coming back because at the end of Kids Next Door was the what did they call them? The space kids next door. What the fuck ever. And so there was like an animatic that was like hidden in like their website. You had to like do all this stuff to find, and it was like him talking to like this high council of the space kids next door, right? And everybody was like, oh, "Is it coming? Or is it coming back?" And that was like fucking 5 years ago at least. Like it was hella long ago.
Yeah.
I'm a whole ass adult now, and like
watch that shit.
I would love
that
Kids
could
Next Door to come
probably
back.
be something you could do live action.
No,
No.
No, you don't think so?
After Kim Possible, no. Not a live action Kim Possible, no.
No, that one shouldn't be live action.
Yeah. And that's on Disney Plus.
Live action Kim Possible.
The Kim Possible movie?
The live action Kim Possible movie. I said,
Yeah, I saw it there and I'm like, yeah, no.
I was so mad when I typed in Kim Possible. It was the fucking first one that popped up was the live action one.
And you know what's really kind of weird though is they have one Kim Possible movie out of two.
I don't remember.
The animated ones.
I just need to know.
So there was the time traveling one, right?
Yeah.
And then
Stitch in Time or Stitch in Time.
Stitch in Time.
Yeah, Stitch in Time.
And then the one that was actually in theaters.
And then there's So the Drama. They have So the Drama.
That's my favorite.
But they don't have Stitch in Time?
No.
It's not like a part of the regular...
I looked. It's not a part of any of the seasons.
Well, I guess they hate me because that was the one I liked.
Which one's the one where when Ron and her get together?
That's So the Drama.
Okay, that's the one I hear.
And it's supposed to, I think it was supposed to wrap up the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
No,
they had one more season after that, but it was like a short season.
Yeah. Because I remember when Kim Possible came back on and she had the suit from the movie and she was like, "Yeah, I just need a new wardrobe. This is too much. I understand." And then,
That's I can hear it.
Dude, Kim Possible's ending is like something that Manuel would like because they had like alien gladiators and he was abducting kids and like it crashed down at graduation.
Oh, you know what? You know what Nickelodeon needs to bring back? My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that was a
tight.
good
I
one.
remember
That was tight.
And I was actually talking to Ted about one show that I'm disappointed that Disney Plus doesn't have to start with.
What?
The famous Jet Jackson.
Jet Jackson. I remember that.
Yeah, the guy. And then Josh said it's probably because he maybe killed himself, but I don't.
Well, because we got kind of into a little bit of a philosophical discussion about why they canceled Girl Meets World.
Oh yeah, I'll talk
And then
about
I
that.
kind of mentioned that, okay, well, maybe that's kind of why they don't have Jet Jackson yet, because the lead actor did commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And of course, we were talking, you mentioned, I haven't seen Girl Meets World yet.
dude, when you watch Boy Meets World, just watch Girls Meets World.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I want to rewatch all of Boy Meets World and then watch Girl Meets World right after. But you were saying something about how they were talking about...
Yeah, with Girl Meets World, like, they talk about, there's an episode where they talk about, like, oh, you like him, and she's like, oh, well, what if I like girls? Like, it doesn't matter who I like. Who I like is who I like, and that goes for everybody. So they're talking about that. They talk about, like, non-binary people. They talk about religion, where their family's Christian, and then his friend is Jewish, and then one doesn't believe, but they're like, it's okay, we all don't have to believe the same thing, we can all love each other like that, and stuff like that, and they talk about...
That's typical, like,
stuff
after school, for
yeah.
kids stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like, not, like, it's kind of like, Disney was like, oh, I don't know about that, because I can only picture, because just seeing how Boy Meets World went, they didn't get to that stuff till, like, when they were in,
Yeah, no, Boy Meets World was
college.
very conservative.
yeah, they didn't get to that stuff till college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like I already knew that Disney was like, all right, if they're talking about this right now, bro, I don't want to know what wild stuff they're gonna get into when they get into high school and college. And
Yeah.
plus, the viewership was kind of low because eventually, like, I don't know, like I'm not gonna say like it sucks, but I can kind of see like they pushed it around. They changed the times. It's like the Legend of Korra for Nickelodeon. They changed the date it was on. They made it from sooner to later, so it came on later. Not all the kids could watch it. They made it in like they just changed it around too much, and
Yeah.
they lost its viewership.
And
But I hope that with this, that they somehow bring it back. But I don't know if like everyone will come back again after the first time,
yeah.
like just like the Victorious cast I want.
So I was saying that, maybe they're hesitant to bring it back because of what the lead actor would be associated with.
Well, I honestly, it's difficult to imagine because like Disney is like a heartless, fucking soulless corporation.
Right, but I don't want to say always.
But they do have this like visage to hold up of like we are pure family values
Yeah,
the
they've
most
always
part.
been, well, like I said, again, I don't want to say always, but they've exuded this persona of being conservative for many, many years. And so, and of course, with a lot of religious beliefs, suicide is a sin. So, and you got to admit that probably the biggest crowds that watch Disney shows are conservative Christian families.
Yeah.
Damn, I'll go back and watch Boy Meets World.
So, that's why I'm thinking maybe they could be a little hesitant for it.
Yeah, well, and also because if even if it wasn't suicide, if it was like any grisly act, I'm sure they would have pulled it. Because because like if you put that show out there, people will look into it, and that'll probably be like the top thing you'll see when you look this up.
Especially with going on around nowadays in life.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, weren't there some things that talking about, like, in the bio, it warned people about, like, not like racist stuff, but like...
Oh yeah, so some that's an important thing to talk about too. For some of their older movies and shows, they have this disclaimer in front of them. They're like, yeah, that it does contain some like racist or offensive characterizations of people and things.
It's not Dumbo.
Yeah, and then they're like I don't remember exactly how they word it, because I know WB, the like Warner Brothers Hanna-Barbera thing, did it too when they were playing their old cartoons. Was like, oh yeah, so like just so you're aware, there are some things like they weren't okay then, they're not okay now, but they exist and we can't pretend that they didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Hanna-Barbera I think it was Hanna-Barbera, not Hanna-Barbera, Warner Brothers. They had one too, like on Cartoon Network, and they were replaying their really really old cartoons. They're like, to pretend that these didn't exist would be a greater crime than making them in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's very true, because, it is a teaching thing. You can use it easily as a teaching thing. Like, yes, this was acceptable at one time, but now we know that it's not acceptable now.
Yeah, but I hope, like, see, I'm pretty much how this goes with us. We'll post this video, and then after that, they'll leak, like, they'll release, like, a whole, oh, this is what's going to be on Cartoon Network, on HBO, it's all this stuff, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
But,
it's...
Of course, our whole prediction about Netflix dying is starting to come true as well.
Well, my prediction was that these are all going to die. Like, they are all going to fall off eventually. Because, like, even though Disney has so much stuff, the charm of Disney and Marvel and everything is going to die off eventually. Especially when they're force-feeding it to us so hard. Like, I love Marvel. I loved Marvel before they were movies. I loved it before we were getting 3 Marvel movies a year now. And I probably will still love Marvel after the popularity of it dies off. Because it's people are gonna get sick of the taste of superhero movies and shows and all this other stuff, and science fiction in general, even maybe. So like Disney's gonna lose some people with that. Like, it's not gonna be super popular forever. I know hella people were on it as soon as it came out, and they were talking about it like the servers were crashing, and like the service was hella slow and laggy because so many people were using it. That happens with every service. They're gonna die off in popularity. Like, they're already seeing, like, all of these people are, like, all of these services are seeing that they're not making as much money as they want to be making. Right. They're making enough money to be profitable, but they're not making as much money as they want. And so I wanted to do a video about this issue particularly, but I don't think there's like enough to talk about. But they are gonna now start cracking down more on password sharing, and having multiple people on an account. They now classify the companies do, not like legally, but the companies classify password sharing outside of a household. So even if you're related, even if it's your like you and Ted shared whatever, and he's at his house watching something, but you pay for it, that's piracy, because he's not a part of your household. So a password, an account, a family account should only be in one household. And that's how they view things. And Disney has already said that they're gonna, after their initial launch, they are gonna start taking hard action against that. Even though their plans have like 7 members on them, with like 7 profiles on them, with like 4 people being able to watch at once. I'm like, that's like still insane. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the only thing they can't do anything about is mobile viewing. So like if you're viewing on a phone, like of course anybody can view on the phone. We don't know who's using the phone. You know, it could be the person who pays for it or a person in that household. We don't know. But like if they can see that like, oh, the main person on this account is you, Josh, and you live here, obviously we only ever access your profile from this place, then anybody accessing outside of this area isn't a part of your household. And so they'll probably get booted or kicked or something. And like there's all these other like talks of taking like crazy ass measures, like having to sign in with your fingerprint for any of the profiles. Like you have to sign in with your fucking fingerprint.
So that's basically going to be like location tracked, almost like what you do with most of your apps nowadays.
Exactly. And so they're ready to take those stances because they're losing money that way. And like I said, it's not even that they're going bankrupt. It's that they're not making as much profit as they want to be making because they know that for every Netflix profile, every paying Netflix subscriber is 5 people watching Netflix.
Yeah.
And that's like an honest average if I'm thinking about it. And they're like, we could be making 5 times as much money. That's what all they're thinking in their head.
Well, then, and you know, of course, Hulu has the thing where you can have it. I think you can have as many people as you want on your account, but if you want to be able to have more than one person watching at a time, you have to pay extra.
Exactly, because I pay $15 for Hulu to have like 3 people watch. I think.
Yeah.
And then
Netflix, even then they still limited it.
And Netflix I pay extra to have 4 people watch because I share passwords with my friends and then also my grandma, and for a while it was my sister, but I think she has her own now. And so like it's not like extremely crazy, you know what I mean? Like, cause if you would go back to like buying DVDs or something, like I would watch it with my friends and family maybe, and maybe I'd let somebody borrow it, you know, because you're not always gonna be watching it,
right?
You know, and so you're just trying to maximize the amount you get out of something, and like they're like, no, don't do that, only we can do that, and so yeah. And so this is a crazy move that's happening. Just that we're seeing 3 like divisive units like joined right now. I feel like what I'm hoping is that each one will just like kind of grab more things to it, and so we'll just have 3. Like if it's just 3 split like services, that's way better than what we have now because we have HBO, we have the DC one. We have Hulu, which is Disney still. Disney owns Hulu.
Yes.
And then we have Disney Plus. And then we have HBO. And then we have fucking... What else is there? We have Verve. We have Crunchyroll. We have... Funimation has their own now because they don't want to be a part of Verve anymore. There's just so many that are coming up. And like it's getting worse than cable. Way worse. But I hope
even when Funimation was allowing Verve to stream their stuff, I mean, they still had their own seperate thing going.
They did, and they kept like the best things for themselves.
That's beside the point.
Yeah. But like, I would just want, I don't know, because I'm basically reinventing cable packages right now. Like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I would like it to be in like neat little packages so I know like exactly what I want.
Eventually, Disney is just going to have so much money that they're going to be able to rewrite the laws, buy out everything, and everything's going to be under one banner.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going to happen because they already own so much stuff. Because they took a lot of the Fox stuff. A lot of the Fox stuff is on Disney, like Simpsons. Yeah. Simpsons is on Disney
But
now.
the courts made them give up some of that stuff because they were monopolizing too much. So, like I said, soon they're going to have so much money they're going to be able to change the laws and not have to worry about that.
It's gonna get so. What I imagine it's going to be
are iMouse 7s.
Yeah, is that it's going to be because there are legal monopolies on things, and it's on stuff like water companies and like oil companies because like it would be too much of a public thing to like it would cost the public too much to not have one person be in charge of this thing.
Right.
And I don't know how they would do it, but I feel like that's going to be the justification for Disney being like entertainment central. Like
because at some point, entertainment is going to become as much of a necessity as water or food.
Mm-hmm. and that's where we're gonna be. And like Disney's just gonna have all of it, and we're gonna have one big thing.
And they're gonna be able to charge you whatever they want and get away with it.
Yep.
Why? Because they're gonna be the only one you can sit there and watch it through.
Yeah, and it sucks. Oh my god. But yeah.
But by that time, you're gonna have it's all gonna be like virtual reality, and you're gonna be able to interact with the characters in the show.
All right, bro. Well, you're way too far ahead.
just happened?
I don't know where we are anymore.
What just happened?
Like
I jumped a little too far.
Ted
into the
wasn't
future.
paying attention. I was paying attention,
I was paying attention.
and I still
I
don't know where we went.
You were saying, then he
I
said,
took my DeLorean a little too far into the future
Yeah.
there.
talking about virtual reality. I was like, what just happened?
What the holodeck?
Hey, that's the way everything's going, and you know it.
Oh, it is weird because even VR's like still sticking. But anyway.
So what I hope from this streaming services is that I hope like each one, well, I hope with Disney, I hope like older stuff gets newer stuff. Like I hope like they bring back stuff that was already canceled, like Girl Meets World. Now that's on its own separate thing. Some older stuff getting some love as well. And then for Nickelodeon, same thing. I hope that they reach down and do everything they can with older stuff, and not just stuff that's relevant. Like take some, go into some properties like My Life as a Teenage Robot. Do something with that. Make that. Make it a different style.
I would hope for at least because I don't necessarily want like whole new series. But if you made like a movie for each of these things to like tie up everything, or just like have one last like big adventure or something.
Yes.
Like for a lot like My Life as a Teenage Robot or Danny Phantom. Or something.
Like Victoria's.
Fairly Odd Parents is still fucking going. I wish it wasn't. But like
one movie to end it.
Like I wish they would make one last Fairly Odd Parents movie.
Isn't Drake Bell playing Timmy Turner now?
No, that was the movie.
That
was the live
that was
action
like
movie.
three movies though.
That was the live action movie that was supposed to end.
Drake and Josh, please.
Yes.
They
I would
already
love
did
to
that.
see Drake and Josh come back as adults.
They've been talking about they wanted to come back, and this is probably like the best way they can do it is on this Netflix thing.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, you keep saying a lot of the Dan Schneider stuff, and I don't know if that's going to happen because I think they're trying to cut ties with Dan.
Well, they can cut ties with him. Doesn't mean. I'm pretty.
But
sure.
I think he owns like the rights to all those things himself because they're all like Schneider Productions or something. And I think he's a pedophile. Like it's not proven yet, but everybody's been saying it for freaking years, and like people stop talking to him after they work with him. I'm like, that's too much of a coincidence.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's a lot of that stuff is coming to light nowadays, and it's terrible to sit here and have to acknowledge.
It was a thing. It was a thing because even if you go back like far enough in the entertainment industry, it was like a known fact that people were being taken advantage of. Like I don't know if you remember it, but for Disney Plus, they removed the scene, one of the blooper scenes from Toy Story 2, where the prospector is talking to two of the Barbie dolls, like, I can get you into show business. And the joke is that they're gonna fuck the prospector. That's the joke. He's gonna make him have sex with him, this fat, ugly, gross man, so they could be actresses. And like that was so commonplace that was like in a children's movie, him just saying a few certain words, you knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I, as a child, knew what he was talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna take advantage of these women. And I was like, as a kid, I was just like, that's a funny joke to make because it's not a real movie, but they're acting like it's a real movie. I'm like, oh wait, that's real life. That's a thing that's happening. Yeah.
But so we can end this video. That's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about all the other stuff that's going on. The three major networks being, now even more of a feud with each other.
And so for right now, it's just cartoons. I do think, honestly, I feel like DC's only smart move would be join up with one of these. Probably whatever the Cartoon Network one wants. So probably HBO Max. And then I don't know. I feel like the only smart move for some of these like really fringe one is to like hop onto one of the big bandwagons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have to.
Like just to get the popularity, and then like they'll probably like increase the prices of each service by like a few dollars. So like, oh, we have all this stuff now, $5 more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't like the sound of any of the way this is gonna go, but
Yeah.
It's just what I predict.
Begun. The streaming wars have.
Exactly.
That's about it that we have. But hopefully, this stuff will come out in a better.
Because what else?
That was a piss poor Yoda impression.
Yes, it was. Because I'm like, what? They already did a Hey Arnold movie, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they won't use any of that because they did that.
Well, so Nickelodeon's done a pretty good job so far because like Invader Zim was a movie, Rocko's Modern Life was like a
Okay, one.
it was like a special. It was like an hour long or so, and that was pretty good. That's more what I would like to see. I don't want to see like whole new season of something that they have.
Yeah.
I just want like movies are perfect.
So I think we're pretty much talked out on this subject.
Yeah.
You know, there's not much more we can do but sit and wait and see what happens. But let us know what you guys think about, you know, basically everything going streaming.
Yes.
You know, like I said,
I want to know.
basically
I want to know what Cartoon Network shows you think should come back, because I'm thinking like of a lot of Cartoon Network shows that I don't want to see, but I know there's a ton that definitely like were cut short. I can't remember any of them.
Yeah, and what's your impression of things like Disney Plus so far? You know, what do you guys think? Are you happy with what we've been given? Are there shows that they don't have yet that they should? Like, you know, me, I want to see The Famous Jet Jackson.
Have you watched the shows they do have? Have you watched
There's not much.
The Mandalorian? Check out our video on The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah, we just did a video on The Mandalorian, so check that one out.
Ow.
Careful, there are spoilers in that one, though.
There are spoilers.
Major spoilers. But,
Yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, let us know, and we'll be back with another one soon.
until next one, we'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Adios.